In Clause 48, Amendment 28, Baroness Bennett of Manor Castle.
My Lords, I am aware of the time, but I have attempted through this amendment to find a creative and new way of tackling some of the issues that have come up through this bill. The noble lady Baroness Mackintosh, quite some time ago, very on, saying we have to reassure the public. The noble Lord Trees, just in the last debate, saying it's essential to take the public with us. The noble Lord the Minister saying it's essential to build confidence. This is what this amendment seeks to find a positive way forward. I'm not, for anyone who's still worrying about their dinner break, intending to put this to a vote for the avoidance of doubt, but I did want to put forward a way forward for what has clearly been a very difficult bill with a lot of issues that remain of great concern in your Lordship's House and more broadly. And I refer to the fact I started in the first group speaking about the number of people who I know are sitting watching this debate at this very moment, feeling very disappointed about what has happened, or rather not happened. I also refer back to what I said at the start about the scientists who are coming to me saying, how do we get our knowledge through to the government? We feel like we're just not being heard, and these are experts in a range of different fields. And so this is a creative suggestion put forward. Now, I might have included in here the word consultation, but as we've already had in debates in various sections in today's report stage, the government did consult the public and stakeholders, and then entirely ignored what they said. Now, it might be said, I think with some justice, that it very much what result you will get depends on how you ask the question. Indeed, I think the noble Lord the Minister at some stage referred to a survey saying, well, if we can get drought-proof wheat with gene editing, should we go ahead with it? Which may indeed, if you phrase the question that way, get a positive result. However, that's not listening to the academic who indeed is a proponent of the technology, who said to me this week, you cannot drought-proof wheat with one genetic change. That's not a fact. So what I'm suggesting here, and it's genuinely a constructive suggestion to the noble Lord the Minister and the government, is a process of deliberative democracy. Now, this is something which has really taken hold, I don't believe particularly that I know of in DEFRA, but in other government departments and indeed across the world. Perhaps some of the classic examples of deliberative democracy are in Ireland on equal marriage and on abortion, where the public, when allowed a chance to deliberate and carefully consider an issue, showed themselves to be significantly in front of the politicians. We've seen climate assemblies in the UK, and that may have been under DEFRA, I'm not sure what department it was under. The Climate Assembly, we've seen in France the Climate Assembly, which was very effective. Lots of local government organisations have been having climate assemblies. So what this means is a way of getting people together and getting themselves informed, both a mixture of the general public and stakeholders. Now, the reason why I've used a particular term here of priority setting partnerships, and I have borrowed this, if you like, and I didn't ask them first, from an organisation called the James Lind Alliance, but I've been speaking to people who've been involved in this process. And I think it's particularly of relevance here because it's been used in a significant number of cases to look at how to set priorities and make decisions about ways forward in healthcare. It brings together clinicians, patients and carers in those healthcare settings. And so my proposal here, and this Amendment 28 is a commencement amendment, but as I said, I'm not going to push it on that basis. But my constructive suggestion to the noble Lord the Minister is that to find a way forward among many of the issues that really have not been resolved in your Lordship's House and have not been resolved among scientists is to actually seek to have a deliberative process looking at how the regulations are constructed for this bill. A process that could actually get public involvement and engagement, because I can guarantee to the noble Lord the Minister there will be a great deal of public concern and public anger about where we've got to today and public resistance to the products, and particularly where that issue is going to arise. And I could very easily have tabled amendments. I had lots of people asking me to table amendments around the issue of labelling, of whether gene-edited products are going to be labelled. Now, we debated this extensively at committee, and I couldn't see a different way forward, and I didn't want to simply revisit the committee debate. But if we're going to talk to the public about labelling, talk to the public about what's happening to their food, we know how deep a level of concern there is in the public about food safety, about the nature of their food, about the way in which their food is produced. I don't need to list all the scandals and the concerns that have arisen, and genuine health concerns that have arisen over recent years. But this is an area of public concern. So what I'm suggesting is that regulations, issues like labelling, many of the things that remain unresolved, the government should look at bringing together scientists, government officials, experts, the public, bring everyone together and seek to find a way forward that works. Because whilst I remain gravely concerned for all the reasons I've set out previously about this bill and the potential of what it could unleash, I think there's a very significant chance that this will absolutely go nowhere, both because of the legal tangles and the public resistance. So if the government does want to find a constructive way forward, what I've set out here is a way in which the government could co-create with the public, with the experts, a model. And so that is my constructive suggestion. I beg to move.
Amendment proposed